calling you and you and thank you so much for coming today. And all the attention is going to be on you. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for people to say, over and over again?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. What's going on, family? You know who it is. Monica Sekhmet Grant, Young Boss Media, coming live from the bathroom. Just like BET, live from the basement. We in the bathroom. Hey, we in the kitchen today. Make sure you get some healthy food, some healthy living, get some sunshine in your life. Now, it's your girl, Monica Sekhmet Grant, and we are here today with another mentorship call. We are calling all the way over to Kenya today to speak to a filmmaker, photographer. She is helping young people and the youth and the women learn more about agribusiness through her photography and filmmaking. So we want to bring her to the call right now. Her name is Emily Onyango. How you doing, sis?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. How is Kenya right now?
The weather is up and down. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. So we're in the middle, but it has never been very, very cold. Yeah.
Well, that's a blessing. Are you in Nairobi? What city are you in?
I'm in Nairobi.
You're in Nairobi.
The
Awesome.
city center. Yeah, in Nairobi.
What is Nairobi like for people that have never been to Kenya? What is Nairobi like?
Nairobi is very beautiful. We are multicultural people, different diversity, and it's a busy city. So things are going up and down, but it's full of lovely people, business people, office people. Like, it's full of everything. Nairobi is a busy town, but very lovely. Yeah.
I've heard comparisons to Nairobi to New York. Like, it's very similar, very busy, big city, a lot of people, a lot of culture. So I can imagine that I'll love Nairobi.
Yeah, just because of COVID. But normally we have a 24 hours economy. But because of COVID-19, we have some restrictions. So movement is not that much at night. But during the day, it's busy.
So tell me that, how has Kenya changed due to COVID?
A lot of businesses has gone down, especially the women who are working at night in town. Because normally when you leave town at night, you can buy vegetable from the vendors, clothes and shoes. They are we call them hawkers in town. Okay. So, but due to COVID-19, with the restriction, they cannot sell at night, because these are people who work at night because of the city council chasing them up and down. But at night, the city councils are not there, so they're able to do their business. But that has gone dead now because of the restriction of the curfew. Because you have to leave. Initially, the first time the curfew was up to 7 p.m. With 7 p.m., that's when the business was starting at the city, so you can't do anything. Yeah, and now it's up to 9 p.m.
Okay.
And at 9 p.m. also, that's when business are also booming. So now they cannot work. Even if they're working it's small portion.
Right. Did you have did Kenya have a large COVID rate? Did a lot of people get infected with COVID?
The number is going up. It was slowly peaking, but now the number is getting up because they are now testing big numbers from different counties. Initially, the concentration was only in Nairobi and Mombasa County, since those were the outbreaks places. But now, since we have 49 counties, the government is going around. The officers are going around doing testing, so the number is getting bigger.
Wow. So I pray for you and your family, and that everybody stays safe and healthy. Now, you're very welcome. Now, the reason for this call is because you are a filmmaker in photography, and you are doing something special in the agribusiness world. And so I brought on other people, particularly from Kenya, to speak about agriculture and the opportunities in agriculture. And so I want you to speak about the work that you're doing right now.
So currently, because I've been doing film and photography with an organization, so we were doing like partnership, but I was the one coordinating the project. The project was being supported by Swedish Institute, and media gymnasiate from Nairobi and Naka Nairobi. But since the COVID started, everything went down. But we've done a number of stuff. We've done, when I was managing the project, I brought a project called the Me Too. That's when the Me Too was starting. And in Kenya, we didn't know anything to do with the Me Too. So when the Me Too started, there was a sit up together. How do we do this Me Too also in Nairobi? So we got funds from Sweden, and I was able to push the Me Too campaign. And we did a training to 12 young women in Nairobi. We trained them on photography and videography and scripting. So the skills was for them to bring out the issues that they've been going through in themselves and also in their community in relation to gender-based violence, because these are some of the taboos that we don't get to speak in Nairobi, and also not only in Nairobi, in Kenya in general, because we are so much rooted into culture. So there are issues on gender-based violence. People think it's common, especially domestic violence. People think it's normal. When you're beaten by your husband, it's normal.
Right.
When the child gets married at an early age because she's from a Maasai community or from a Somali community, is normal. So these are some of the things that people didn't know how to talk about them. So also issues of sexual violation in the offices. It was very, very common. But these things, we know that they exist, but we don't talk about them. So this was a platform to bring these young girls, to show the violation through photographies, to show also the issues of gender-based violence through video. Yeah.
That's awesome. So just to recap what you said, during the Me Too movement, you were inspired to help young women, or just women in general, tell their stories around gender-based violence, sexual violence, rape, early marriage through the use of video and media. Brilliant.
Yeah.
We have a similar cause. How did you go about finding the women? Because I'm interested in their willingness to expose these issues.
We did because we were focusing more on informal settlements, because most of these cases we were finding them in informal settlements because we were doing research. For example, we are surrounded with areas like Westland. These are Westland, Lavington, Muthaiga. These are rich areas, and in rich areas there are also slums communities. So we were trying to do research, trying to ask the youth around in Muthaiga, in Lavington, but most of them they didn't know anything to do with gender-based violence, or none of them have experienced it in their community, or if they have experienced it, it was in a very minimal. So when we came back to slum community, the number was big, and we had so many youths who wanted to talk about it, especially young women, young divorced women, young couples, or divorced women. So we had a very big number of people who wanted to talk about it. And our focus was mostly in slum areas, since the number is big, and rape has been commonalized in that community. And but like there are so many things going on in the informal communities. That's why we really wanted these guys to speak and become ambassadors in their community. So our focus was not only to train them, but also to get these people who are going to continue these things in their community. Yeah.
Got it. And so when you're training them on the camera, you're training them in script writing. What does the training look like?
So also we had a training on the women's and girls' rights. So this one we partnered with another organization who are doing women's rights. That is grassroots in Mathare community. They also work in an informal settlement in Mathare community. So we brought them in to teach the women's rights, so these women could know their rights in case of someone rape them, or in issues of related to sexual harassment. Where can they go? What are they supposed to be doing? They didn't know any of these, like in case I'm violated, that my secret. Apart from sharing it with my family or sharing it with my friend, what else can I do? So those are channels you can report, you can talk to this person, you can find a social worker, those kind of stuff.
That's awesome. Thank you for your work. Now, you've evolved, because the bio that you sent me said that you focus on agribusiness now. What is the work that you're doing in agriculture?
So we have a small farm in Korogosho. We have a small farm. And
Horticulture.
also, yeah, Korogosho community. Korogosho is where I've been brought up, partly. So it is an informal settlement. So we have issues of criminal activities and rape, and this is one of the things, the push, that I had, like, what can I do to change things in my community? It's anger, it's unemployment issues. Okay, let's start an agribusiness. So this was also to create employment, and also to give us food. In case you don't have food, you can go to the shamba and pick some things. So because we had a small shamba, it was hard to bring so much produce. So we also started urban farming. This is using sack and cans to plant vegetable. Yeah, and we were able to get returns. And now we are selling some.
Okay.
Yeah, we are selling some.
That's awesome. How many people participated in this program?
So initially, we were mixed. It was a youth group initially. When I started Team Revolution in 2016, my focus was on youth. And as things progress, I found like it was more of challenge. When we sat on the table, it was more of a challenge of this can do this can do this. Then we decided, okay, I think as much as we want to empower each other, let's go with women because they're so passionate about farming and they are so passionate about these things. So we decided to change the group to be women groups. So currently we are only women in the group. So we are 15. So we have divided activities. So on Monday, we have 5 women doing this. On Tuesday, we have 5 women doing this. So when there are 5 women in this on Monday, 2 are in the farm, maybe watering the plants, and 3 of them are on the sales. So we have accountable one person who is taking the cash for the group. Yeah.
So many people might not realize that so many women on the African continent are involved in agriculture. I think on this side we believe that it's mostly men because in America it's been really industrialized and it's a lot of men, and particularly like a lot of white men here in America. But on the continent, there's a lot of women involved in agriculture and farming. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think women are more involved in farming and food security. Let me talk about Africa, because let me say, when you go back to the rural home, that's where we have big farms, and the majority of people who are working in the farms are women. And just because most of them are not given opportunity to be in front of where the money is being, like where the money now is being, the produce is being turned into money, that's where you don't see many women, because women are working in the farms and men are selling because they believe men are strong, and when they bring things to the market, they cannot be conned. But everything, the plantation, the plowing, up to bring the food to be what it is, it's women. So let me say in Kenya, it's women. When you go to Kericho, where they do a lot of tea plantation, it's only women. The women are full in the farms. When you go to places like Kiambu County, where they have a lot of these yams, they grow yams, sweet potatoes, only women in the farms. But when you come to the markets, where they bring everything in the market, majority of people are men. Yeah. So I think it's only because men are here in front because of money. So we have this mentality that when men are here, they will fight for the good price. But the produce, everything in the farm, it's women.
Got it. Wow. So it's women behind the scenes and men up front. Are there any
Yeah.
women that are working to change that and saying, no, we want to run the marketplace as well?
Yeah, they are. There are women like Team Revolution. Like we don't have men in our group, so we are trying to run things ourselves. So if this is how we learn. If we take something to the market, we have to realize, okay, today, this week, how much is the sack of gunia? We call them skuma wiki because we grow much of the vegetables because those are some things that sells so fast. So when we go to the market, we ask, okay, in Korogosho this week, skuma is going for how much? That's the price we are going to sell. So you won't come to us telling us we give you for a few penny because we are women selling. We are going to sell at the same price. So we are trying to push. And also, I think I read it on papers about UN women thing, how they are trying to push the economy, but I don't know how much they are in the community, they involved in the community, or how much they are helping. But I read a lot of their stuff on papers and their agendas, whatever they are trying to push. But I've never seen them in action, so I don't know much. But I know of few women who are trying to do stuff in their communities, especially in relation to farming.
Awesome. Now, here in America, there's definitely a sense of women empowerment, particularly like this in this time period. More women are taking positions in office. More women are running their own businesses. More women are just taking care of their homes. Does it feel like that's happening in Kenya right now? Maybe with the internet, maybe with just a changing of times. Does it feel like that's happening right now too?
I think Kenya is waking up, especially on girl child education,
Mm-hmm.
because we've had so many cases of issues of on gender-based violence and issues on sexual reproductive health. All these things are involved with the lack of empowerment. So majority of organizations and majority of women rights organizations are trying to push on women to get education and to get employment. So with the noise that women's rights are doing and human rights are doing, we are able to get some allocation of position for women, especially in parliamentary. Though we are not really there, but we have a push. The number is growing, and also in the organization nowadays, when organizations are making policies, they have to have women inclusion in them. Even in the supermarkets now, you get the counters, two men, two ladies. So I think it's working now in Kenya, but we are still pushing.
Got it. How do people find out about your organization? Are you on Facebook, Instagram? Do you have social sites?
Yeah, we are on Facebook as Team Revolution community based organization, and also Team Revolution fashion and media.
Can you type
And
that in the private chat so I can pull it up?
yeah, I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, type that in. I want to bring it up as a banner.
But what about America? Like, what is the struggle of, let me say, of Black community? How does it feel to be in America as a Black community?
Oh, good question. It's always a struggle, because you
Mm,
deal with white people and then you deal with your own people.
yeah.
And to have just the history of we were brought here to work for free. You build up the country, but then you're not allowed to benefit from the country. And then people make you feel crazy when you speak out about not benefiting from the country, and then to visually see Black people abused, harassed. In music, you're called a bitch, you're called a hoe. To just be all the way around, just disrespected, and then to still be expected to uphold the country, uphold the entire country. America is built on not just Black people's backs, but Black women in general. When there comes an election, the whole world looks at, well, how are Black women going to vote? Black women determine this election, but yet these politicians do not care about us. They don't speak to us. Honestly, I feel like to be Black in America is to be confused all the time, to be confused and angry, and to not really have as big as a voice as people think we have. Because the moment I say something, there's somebody on the other side of this camera right now saying, no, you're wrong. And so instead of uniting and having one voice, we're constantly arguing with each other versus actually tackling the actual problem. So you get caught up in this ball of confusion that keeps us stagnant versus actually mobilizing and moving forward. And it's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating to be here, just as in America. Because, in other countries where you don't necessarily I mean, there's white people in Africa, throughout Africa, but like here, like we grew up with white people. Like many of us have the same bloodline as white people just because of the slave trade. So we have a certain relationship with um, our white citizens because some of us are cousins. And so it's like, well, how did you get this and we don't have this, but yet we built this up? So it's a lot. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to be here. It's frustrating to be here. And then, and with me doing all these conversations on, through virtual world, I see so many Africans living the great life. Some of y'all got chauffeurs and mansions and all that, but look at us like we're the rich ones. And it's like, no, we were not. So it's a ball of confusion to be here in America, but at no point do I not take advantage of the privilege of being in America. There's definitely a privilege of being in America, but it is hard. It's very hard.
Yeah, because I had to pull that question. I was really waiting for time to pull out this question because, some of us when we are growing up here in let me say in African countries, our parents always encourage us, okay, my daughter, you have to study hard to go to America. And I think our parent doesn't understand any history of America very well. And so it's only when you read so many things and you get to see most house on the news about the Black communities in America, that's when you come to appreciate where you are and the opportunities that you like, the stuffs and you can do in your own country without having this mentality of I have to go to America to do
Right.
this. I have to go to America to come back home to make my home better. These are kind of stuff. Because I think I've come to appreciate home and peace that comes with it. So I'm just wondering how it must be hard to be there actually when you're not a student or when you whether you are a student or whether you are living there as a citizen.
Yeah, so I think when you travel, there's always good things about just traveling in general because you get to see things that I don't see because you have a different perspective. Just like when I come to Kenya, I'm going to see things because I have a different perspective of my background. So I think there's always a benefit in traveling. But say you come here and you want to study at NYU, you're black, but then you're also African. So you get separated from the African Americans, and so now we're not friends, we're enemies. Unless we do the work to unite with each other, we're not on the same page. Except when you apply for any kind of benefits or you get stopped by the police, then you're black. So it's a whole bunch of confusion of where do I belong? And I feel like that's the constant question of where do I belong? And I see that amongst a lot of, like in New York, there's a lot of people from Senegal, Nigeria. There's a heavy African population here, and it's like, well, where do we belong? Where does that, where do you fit in? Are you black? Are you African? Are you this? Are you that? And it's always changing depending on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with white folks, you're black. If you're dealing with African American, you're African. If you're dealing with the Caribbean, you're African. And so, but it's always this division versus this unity. And I'm hoping that maybe through COVID and through the virtual world, we can have more unity. But to be in America is to constantly kind of figure out like where do I fit in? But there's benefits here. There's a lot of opportunity here for sure. But you gotta play the game, and it is stressful. It is very stressful.
I know, but don't you think it has taken so much time to change maybe this culture? Because America has been there for a long time. The Black community has been there for a long time, and the slave trade was there for a very, very long time. So, what do you think is the problem? Like what is being taught in the history books? Because I think that should make people to come together, especially the young generation.
Well, I think you have to take consideration like America is so big. It's not like it's not just one concentrated place. We're talking about from New York to California, where every small town has their own education system. They have their own brainwashing system. So for a long time, Black people, I mean, even still, Black people are then educated by their slave masters. So of course, the slave master is not preparing you to be great. It's not
Yeah.
preparing you to take on, telling you that you come from scientists, astrologers, the creators of mathematics. They're telling you, go get a job, go get minimum wage, and continue to work. And so part of the problem is like deconstructing the education system that all of us have been under, you know. And so across America, that's the one thing that has been the same, unless you were homeschooled, is that we have all experienced a colonizer education that have told us that we are second class citizens and not telling us what Africa was like prior to them getting there, what our people was like prior to us getting there. And so a lot of it is low self-esteem, lack of love. And so if I don't love me, I definitely don't love you. I definitely don't love the people that I'm crammed into a place with. And then like from slavery, we were raped, brutalized, and it still kept going on through Jim Crow. And so like there's so much here that even if you see us in a Lamborghini or a nice car and a nice home, we still don't love ourselves because of how we were taught. And so just now is it really being deconstructed on a massive level. I think the civil rights movement did a great job, but right after the civil rights movement, it ended. And we have to acknowledge like the people of this country are strategists. And so we had
Yeah.
Malcolm X, we had Martin Luther King, we had the Black Panther movement, and then right when it was over, it ended, and then everything changed. And so I feel like right now, with my generation and the next generation, and with the advent of social media and the virtual world, we can actually keep this education going beyond just a movement. Um, because yeah, we're breaking down a lot of issues that came from our education system teaching us that we are nothing. We are nothing other than, and if we do make it successful, we can only be successful as athletes and rappers. So when I'm speaking to like people on the African continent, I'm speaking to Black pilots, Black engineers, Black people that own gold mines and all this. It's like I never even knew that was possible, and here I am in my 30s. I never, because that's not what we see. It's not what we see. It's
Yeah.
not what we hear about. And so a lot of what I do is one, deconstructing my own education, but then doing it through media to allow other people to see the same things that I'm seeing. But we've been brainwashed, sis, and for a long time. And then say if I have like we need to speak up and we need to change this. I'm just one crazy person amongst a whole bunch of other people that are still operating off of the social norms that have been given to us. So it's a lot.
I think you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Yeah, because we've lost our self-esteem through education and through what you were told about Africans. Yeah. And it will take African to empower themselves first, also to tell each other that we can do this without this. We can stand in this platform without, yeah,
Permission.
without permission, without grant apologies, and without feeling like you've been given a platform and all that. But it still need time.
Yeah, yeah, it's time. Something about this feels different because it feels like it almost feels like DNA is being altered. Like a lot of things are being reversed. And I'm a firm believer that if my ancestors prayed that one day their great 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 grandchildren will be free, that eventually those prayers are going to set in. Those prayers are going to take shape. And so I do feel
Exactly.
like maybe these prayers are finally working out and they're coming through and there is a new generation.
They are. They are working. They are working well.
Yeah, so I believe, and this didn't happen overnight, and so it's not going to change overnight. But definitely, like conversations like this is what it takes.
Yeah,
You know.
sure.
Yeah. So tell people, like, and tell me when I come to Nairobi, what am I doing? Where am I hanging out at? Where am I eating at?
We have great places. One
Mm.
is we have Nyamachoma joint.
What is
Nyamachoma
that?
is a how do you roasted meat. Roasted
Okay.
meat. It's very common in Nairobi. We have different joints, and our favorite ugali and beer, of course. Yeah, yeah.
This is gonna be a fun trip.
Mhm. So you can find them in different joints in Nairobi, and we have small places in Nairobi. Like you don't need to spend much
Okay.
money to go for vacation. We have Paradise Lost. This
What's that?
it has waterfalls. You can go to watch
Oh,
animals, watch birds, and close to it we have Naivasha. Naivasha is not far from Nairobi. 1 hour drive to Naivasha. You can fish. You can go on a boat ride, and you can have a dinner with hippos.
I love
Yeah,
that.
but it's so nice. You can go watch flamingos in Nakuru. Like there's
Wow.
so much to see in Nairobi, and there's so many beautiful places. Wow.
Wow. So I'll tell you this. Last year I was planning a trip to Nairobi. I was planning on going to Senegal and Nairobi, particularly Nairobi, like around kind of this time, like in October. And then
Yeah.
everything happened. Because several years ago I did my African ancestry test. I don't know if you heard about that, but it's they'll trace your bloodline back to the tribe that you came from.
Oh.
And, and so my tribe came back that I'm Turkana. And so for years, it's like I got to get back to northern Kenya. I got to go to northern
You
Kenya,
have to.
and
You
so I,
have to.
and so I was like, 2020 is my year. And then all this happened. I said, oh, y'all playing with me.
No, you have to. You have to do 2022. 2022, I think things are going to be better.
Yes,
You have to be here.
yes.
Turkana is nice. It's getting better now. With I know you've read a lot of stuff, but we
Hmm.
have great women from Turkana who are now waking up to do so much stuff in their communities.
Yeah.
Because
Let them know they got a long lost cousin in America that wants to meet them.
I will write that. I will tell them that.
Yeah, send them my links. Let them know I'm their long lost cousin and I am ready to meet them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to write down our Facebook links. Evolution.
Yes, I want to pull them up. So yeah, so definitely once all this clears up, I have like I feel like I have a whole continent tour underway, and and dealing with Catherine. So like Catherine already said, I'm gonna take you on a tour of Kenya. So it's like I'm ready. I'm ready. Put me in the bush. Take me to the club. I'm ready to go everywhere. Take me to church. I'm ready to go everywhere.
You should come because when you travel, when you understand so much about a country, and I think traveling in African countries is one of the great things that you appreciate so much because you don't know how much you have in common, and you don't know how great people are. You don't believe these things. You have these people in the world, and we have we are good-hearted people. Like when you go somewhere and you meet an African person, you feel like your brothers already.
Yes.
That love and that happiness that you greet with each other. It's so nice. I love it.
Yes. That's what we need in the world. That's what we need.
Yeah, I think we are going to put it there. We also have activists from the white communities who are doing great job, and also my sponsor come from New York.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a lady called Meredith. She come from New York. A very well-hearted person.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's good people in America. It's just we don't. Here's the thing. Like even like during COVID, people made such a big deal of New York, New York, New York, and they made it seem very scary. But it was
Mm.
actually okay. Like I didn't have to go to work. I stayed at home. The birds were chirping. People were nice to each other. But the news made it seem so terrible. You know,
It was so terrible. We were so scared, like the world was coming down. We were so scared.
and
We were
so
saying if that's what is happening in America, what is going to happen in Africa? Eh?
exactly. But here we were kind of like, okay, we're New Yorkers. Like it'll be okay. Yeah, people would call me from other states, And it's like, are you okay? What's going on? What's going on? I'm like, yo, chill. We're fine. We're fine. Awesome. Let me put this up. Facebook, Team Revolution, Media and Fashion.
Yeah. Instagram.
Awesome. And so what should people expect when they look this up? What should people expect to be joining?
To see great things that women are doing in this small community. Young women, multicultural. We are mixed Somali, Luo community, Kikuyu community, Maasai community. We're all working together towards change in the community. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if people wanted to get involved, is there any way for like outsiders to support you?
Yeah, we have a bank account. That's where we do our fundraising most of the time.
You got it. You got it.
We have it. We have a bank account. You can support us. I can send it later. You can support our project on, now we're doing mentorship on women who have children with disability. We are partnering with other organization called Africa. They are pulling out their project called You Will Never Walk Alone. So we are working with them to mentor women with children with disabilities so they can have business skills and how they can release these children. Because as much as you have a disabled child one day, you will want this child to be independent. And also you want you as a mother to be independent. So those are the skills we are now learning. And also sexual reproductive health, now that we have a big number of teenage pregnancies because of COVID, now that kids are out of school. So that's where we are pushing much on. We are fundraising much on getting what they don't get, like pads and food. We do a lot of fundraising in food, especially food for the kids, for the young mothers in the community. So we don't want people to lack. So they say it's because of this, that's why I went here and got early pregnancy, or I did sex, and that's why this is what I have. So we are really trying to mobilize resources in different ways. We've knocked different doors. I've been writing emails day and night. And some of them I get reply. We get food sometimes to distribute. Sometimes we get pads. Yeah. Still
That's
pushing.
Awesome. So for people that have a fear of donating to Africa or just donating to organizations, how do you ensure that their money is going to where they say it's going?
So I want to tell these people that trust, because without trust, there's nothing you can do. And also, they can become like, if you want to support an organization, it's so nice to be part of the movement, either by when you fire, you can get reports and you can be following up on whatever they are doing. Like you've done this training on sexual reproductive health. What was happening? If they can give you proof of what they've done. If it's a very professional organization like us, we'll provide you with policies, pictures, and everything that was taking place. And we also media organization. We always cover everything that we do. Yeah, this is to get trust and to get more people to get involved.
Awesome. So yeah, I definitely want to be a part of what you're doing, particularly around the media side of it. So let's have a conversation offline. And I would love to be like a USA partner with your organization.
There's so much we can do together. So much, because filming is now picking up in Africa, and there are so many things that we haven't done in line with film. Especially my interest with the film is to do our traditional stories. There's so much that has not been told about our community, about our cultures, So there's so much to do about to do with film in Kenya.
Yeah, I'll bring my equipment and I'll follow your lead. You're the director. I'm just the camerawoman.
Come, I have so many scripts of documentaries and fiction. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I would love that so much. So whenever I can fly, I'm there. I promise I'm coming. I'm coming soon. And tell my people I'm out here. And so if you can give me an interview, with somebody that has like a Turkana organization, I would love that too. Like spread the word.
I will try. I will actually try to find you one.
Yeah.
Soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. Once again, tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook at Team Revolution Fashion and Media. Also, we have Team Revolution Agribusiness Facebook, and we also have Instagram as TRV. You can find us, and also at Twitter, you can find us at TRV.
TRV.
That is Team Revolution. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Connect and let us meet every day. Let us chat.
Yes. Thank you so much, Emily. I appreciate your time and your efforts and everything that you're doing for your people. I appreciate because your people are my people, so I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much too.
All right, I'll talk to you very soon. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Awesome. That's right. Listen, we got people out here doing amazing work in the world. And so if we can just, Young Boss Media can just show some love and spread the light, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, before I get out of here, I just want to let y'all know that you still have 1 week left to get your pre-order of Mind Your Business and Prosper. That is my 4th book that I'm publishing right now. And in order to do that, all you got to do is go to youngbossmedia.com. and you can get your pre-order of Mind Your Business and Prosper. Now, the reason why you want to pre-order is because yours truly will sign it. Now, once it is released for global release and publication on August 17th, it's just going to be sent through Amazon. So Amazon's going to handle all of that for me. I've been definitely hit up from Kenya to Uganda to South Africa, Nigeria, Belgium, Switzerland. I'm seeing a lot of people on the website, but right now, I'm not getting involved in that shipping. I don't want to pay $50 for shipping one book to you, but I'm gonna let Amazon handle all that business. But for right now, if you're in the States, if you're in Puerto Rico, you can pre-order Mind Your Business and Prosper up until August 17th. And then on August 17th, you go to Amazon.com. And when I tell you this book is good, raw, juicy, I tell you all my business. I tell you how I worked through it, how I had to drop a lot of dead weight, how I had to change a lot of my bad habits in order to be the success story that I am today, the media mogul woman that I am today. It took struggle, and for everybody's entrepreneurial story, it is not going to come easy. It is not going to come quickly. You have to do the work in order to get there. And so Mind Your Business and Prosper is my story of what I had to learn through entrepreneurship. Now you can go to Young Boss Media and learn more about that, youngbossmedia.com. Now, that is my time. I love you so much, you beautiful people. I actually have another interview coming up later today. So please stay tuned to Young Boss Media. Like, subscribe, donate, do your thing. Just like the sister said, we got bank accounts. You can put your money in a bank account. Come on. You getting these unemployment check. You're getting this stimulus check. Maybe you still working. We take big checks and bigger checks. So holla at your sisters. Love you so much. Take care and see you very, very soon. Peace and love.